What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a little video talking about when the right time to say GG or good game is. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say this can be applied to any game. This can be applied to Pokemon, to other video games, to actual sports, anything that's actually competitive, because I feel now more than ever in 2019, I feel a lot of people do not know when to say GG, and sometimes people do like an offensive GG, and that can sometimes be incredibly rude. And so hopefully by watching this video, you guys will have more respect for your opponents, and depending on how many people watch this, maybe your opponents will start having more respect for you. So this is all my opinion on when you should be saying good game, if you should be saying good game, and all the things on this is actually just a complete thread that's happening in my Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's completely free. There's gonna be links to that in the description of this video, so you guys can check it out. And again, before we get into this, any people that are mentioned in this, any situations that come up through talking, this is not meant to target anyone. Like, Chris is the person who brought this up. This is not meant to target Chris. This is not meant to target TTT, who's the guy that he's talking to in this scenario here. These are not meant to be like targeted or directed towards anyone. I feel that in this situation, this is a classic case of people just not knowing what is the proper procedure for saying good game at the end of the game. So let's talk about this first thing here. It's a picture from Chris, a guy in our Pokemon VGC Discord, and he played against TTT, which is a very well-known Pokemon VGC player. I would say, like, he's really well-known, and this is something that a lot of players tend to do when they fight someone who's really well-known. This is just, you can look at this through a lot of games. You ever seen people on like Twitter say, GG, random professional that they just like beat on ladder, and they want to get that recognition. Now, I don't think Chris is doing this to get said recognition, but like a lot of people do this. They like to flaunt that they won over like a very high level player in a public setting. And like I said, I don't think Chris is doing that. But he says GG, and TTT says, I'd say it in the battle if I wanted to. So now this is implying that the GG did not happen in game. TTT looks like he lost and just left the game after losing it. And a lot of people do that. And I feel if you're the loser, you're actually like within your power to do something like that. But it looks like he left, and he said, I'd say it in the battle if I wanted to, which is we're just starting things off strong. Like he's saying, like, I would set it in like the actual battle, in the battle chat, if I wanted to say it. Now that it could have been like a Haxy game, it could have been a Never Lucky game, but he said, like, I would have said it if I agreed. And so Chris says, you really that salty? It's just a game of Ladder on Showdown, which it is. But this is another thing that Chris is doing. He's implying that TTT is salty because he lost. Now, that's another thing. Like, that's putting words in someone's mouth, where it's not actually happening. And so TTT, obviously, he's going to defend himself from that type of accusation and say, are you really that obnoxious that you had to go out of your way to PM me? Which I feel is 100% warranted here, because at this point, Chris is pushing the envelope a little too far. It's obvious that TTT, as the loser, did not want to talk about it. It's rubbing salt in the wound in a situation where, you wouldn't, there should not be salt in the wound. Like, let people grieve, let people breathe, you know what I'm saying? And Chris says at the end, like, yeah, I'm really so obnoxious that I PM'd someone GG. And so the ending of that quote pretty much just shows that this is a classic example, like I said, of someone not knowing that they're being rude to their opponent in saying GG. And you may be saying, like, well, you should always say GG. There's a time and place for said GG, and that's what this video is actually me talking about. So hopefully you guys bear with me here. I'm going to be scrolling through my Discord, and we're just going to read the chat that happened. And like I said, you guys can all join the Discord, read the chats if you want, and make your own chats, because I make these videos every once in a while where I just go through stuff in the Discord, and I make a video on it with my more in-depth thoughts so we can accurately, assess everything together. So, I reply to it, and I say, IDK, how I feel about him, and I'm just talking about TTT as a person. I feel, we've talked in DMs before, and I agree with him on so many things, and there's a couple things I don't agree with him on, but I'm just going to scroll through here, and I'm saying this before, like, I really realized what's happening, because I thought TTT won, and, because, I mean, he's a friend of mine that's, like, really good, so I assumed he won. I had to go back and read it, but Eluthrad comes in here and says, I mean, is it really that obnoxious to say GG? It depends on how one's a little. See, we're both, like, we don't know who won yet. Like I said, when I'm agreeing with him a lot on various topics, not this one, because, like, I thought that he won. So I thought that he won. I misread the whole thing, and I'm like, why is he pushing the envelope? That's so rude. And so Chris says it's obnoxious to say GG, and this is where I realize, right? This is where I realized that Chris won. And I mean, it's obviously that my brain just skipped a beat. Like, it's obvious if we take the time to read this post that Chris won the whole time. But, you know, me and Elwithrad kind of didn't get it right at the start. So now that we've all established that Chris won the game, let's see. It says it's obnoxious to say GG, and I say it's actually really rude to DM them after. Like, it is, and I really do think it is. And we're going to explain why I think it is. So he said, before this, we didn't have any communication. It's rude for the winner to say it first. And you guys may be thinking like, well, I always say GG. And a lot of times what people do is they'll get to a situation where like they are going to win. Their opponent has like one Pokemon, for example, with like, you know, 1 HP left, and you have all 4 and you're just going to win, and you say GG because you want to say it before they leave so they know you won, right? That's why you say it. You got to say it before they leave or else they won't know, you know? And that's really rude. That's incredibly rude. That's like saying, hey, guess what? You lost. I won. Did you know that I won? It's incredibly rude. Obviously, that's exaggerating it a little bit too far, but it's incredibly rude. And we're gonna explain in depth a little bit why I think it's pretty rude. So hopefully y'all just bear with me. Yeah, Elwithrad saying he agrees with me. Yeah, we battled. I don't think I said anything besides GLHF. He left. Then I PM'd him GG. And so, like I said, classic example. He does not know that he's pushing the envelope just a little bit too far in the situation. So I decided to come back with some examples, right? So my esports background starts like 2010. Like I watched a ton of StarCraft 2. Like I wanted to be like a pro StarCraft 2 player. So like I watched a crap ton of StarCraft 2, as well as like I was there for like the season 2, like season 3, like early League of Legends seasons. Like I know a little bit more about like the esports scene than a lot of people who do esports now. I'm more familiar with like the correct etiquette than a lot of other people are, I would say, because I'm a little bit older than most people. And so I said in Korean esports, it's a bankable. I meant to say bannable. LOL, I should edit that. But I meant to say it's a bannable offense. If he doesn't say it first, if the loser does not say GG first, then it doesn't need to be said. You're literally rubbing salt in the wound. And what I mean by it's a bannable offense, I mean in Korean esports, there were situations in which, like, if a winner says GG in, like, Team League for StarCraft, if it's, like, a streamed match or something like that, if winners say GG, it can be a tell to other players in the team to throw said games, and it creates a whole other situation in which, it creates an unhealthy metagame because it gives people tells to do other things in other situations in like a team league format. And that's what I meant by bannable offense, which I'll kind of go on to explain a little bit more. But in StarCraft, it's totally like against the rules to type GG any other time than you're actually scooping. So hopefully we'll just get that in your heads, and we'll continue to roll through here. So you say, I know, but I was just trying to be nice. And so at this point, by the way, I just want to say, if I ever make like super typos in this or like anything other weird, like I'm on mobile, I'm at Starbucks on my phone typing all this stuff. So he said he was just trying to be nice. And I say, not nice. Like that's hella rude, which I think it is. I think the loser should be the one to initiate the GG every single time. If you're winning and you type the GG, like that is having like no respect for your opponent at all. Like, let them grieve, let them breathe. That's like, I just don't even know how else to explain it. Like, we're gonna give you some more examples, so I don't want to spoil anything, but it is incredibly rude. And so he says he's not understanding it, so I have to explain it. So this is how it goes. If you beat someone, it's good manners to let them be. You forcing them to talk about it just because you won is pushing your victory in their face. If they say GG first, you can talk about it. So that goes all the way back. Remember, I say if they say GG first, it's okay for you to talk about it. Right? So if we go all the way back up to here where it says, like, what was it? I'd say it in the battle if I wanted to, right? If he wanted to say it, then it would have been completely fine. If they say it first, you can talk about it. Like if they say GG first, you say GG back, you can talk about it in the actual battle. But if they don't initiate said GG, what you're doing is you're pushing your win upon them. And just because you're the winner, that does not mean that like they have to take it. And you can be like, it's a free country. I can say whatever I want. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but if you want to play like with integrity and if you want to respect your opponent's feelings and create like a metagame based off of respecting opponents rather than like bullying them and degrading them, you should actually like not say GG until the loser initiates it first. Has that ever happened to any of you guys? Has that ever happened to you guys? Someone's like, LOL, GG easy right before they win. Does that piss you off? It should. It's really rude. Like, that's why they say it. A lot of people do that to be really, really rude and to tilt you, and that's something that totally happens. But, like, it doesn't have to be that way. No one has to do those things. Like, the people that do those things, those people are the problem. Those people are the people that do not understand, you know, how life works. And that's just kind of how it goes. Like I said, playing with integrity and respect isn't that hard. So he said he just apologized because, like I said, he just didn't understand. And so this is where I kind of elaborate more. In most esports, at least overseas, the game lost in professional events, the winner typing GG first, that is. So I'm elaborating a little bit more that, you know, it's very bad manners. It's very rude to initiate GG first, and it can create a whole bunch of other complications if you start to do something like that. And so this is where other people start to come in. So the Elithred still doesn't understand, really. He's like, but messaging someone after a game that you beat GG, that's cool, right? If you feel they outplayed you and there were no hacks involved, I see that as respectful. So he's saying this from the, you know, idea of the loser. Oh my gosh, I'm like all the way scrolled up here. There we go, you guys can see it. Yeah, messaging someone after a game that they beat you, GG, is cool, right? If you feel they outplayed and there were no hacks involved. So yeah, like you should always say GG if you're like the loser. And if the winner says GG, you say GG back. Like you should always try and say GG if you can, but I would never want to put that in someone's face. Because, like, I'm still not getting it. Like, but they won. See, like, right now, I'm not getting it. So, yeah, like, Chris is starting to also talk about here. So, like, everyone's on different pages because we're all typing really, really fast. So he says, I'm not really understanding how saying good game is a war crime. And so this is where we elaborate, like, a little bit more. So I say, like, winning gives them no right to throw it in their face if he doesn't want to talk about it, which is completely correct. And this is where we all get on, like, arrow threads, like, right side. I think I'm looking at this backwards. Like if player A wins, so if Chris wins and then leaves, so let's say Chris left first in the situation, could TTT have messaged him and said GG? And that's 100% okay. I think that's totally fine. Like if player A wins and leaves, I think the loser's allowed to PM and say GG. I think that's totally fine, but that's, you know, yeah, that's just how it is. But I say, like, it's really rude. The loser should always initiate it, if not just drop it. Basically, if anything needs to be said, it should be said within the match, not PM after, and it should be the loser that brings it up out of respect. Otherwise, it can be considered unsportsmanlike. And I completely agree. We're all in agreement in the Discord. You stay silent. Yep, that's pretty much it. And then I want to get on to another topic, right? I want to get on another topic where I say it's just as rude saying GG mid-game too. And personally, as a streamer, nothing like ticks me off more than when people do that. Like when I'm streaming and I'm playing and I'll make like a massive outplay like turn 1 and I'll just like dumpster someone like the first couple turns of the game. Like they'll be down like 2 or 3 Pokemon, or I'll be winning, or I'll go for like a sick read. And my opponent's like GG easy. Not like opponents, but like people in my chat are like GG easy, this game's over. That's so rude. That's like so rude. Like I hate it because you should never count your opponent out until the game's over as a sign of respect. Even if there's no way they can come back. Hell, you could have a heart attack and you lose if you have a heart attack. Like you die. You know, you gotta go to the hospital or something and they win. So never say GG. It's not like a, it's not like a superstitious kind of thing either. Like you just shouldn't do that. It's not that hard to respect your opponents, guys. So Chris saying, is GG when there's no possible way to lose rude? Like if they have 5 HP Incineroar and you have a Mon that kills the Incineroar. And again, we're still all in agreement. Like, it's still rude, even if you can't lose. Because like I said, you can always lose. There's always you could DC. You know, there's so many things that could happen. It's really disrespectful. It gets confusing if you're losing and you say GG without forfeiting. And that's where we're going to go into like the third part of this whole topic, which is one of the reasons why I want to make a video. I felt it covered so many broad things. And this is where I start ranting, right? I say, what is it? So Errolthrat says, it gets confusing if you're losing and you say GG, but then don't quit. Have you ever had that happen? Has that ever happened to you guys? Someone says like GG and they just like keep playing. It really takes you out of the zone. Like if you're like in the zone and you're concentrating and you're really trying to do stuff and your opponent's like GG, you got me, I can't do anything else. And they shake your hand and then they keep playing. Like I know personally, I am just sucked out of the moment. And I was like, that's happened to me before. It was against Legacy VGC. It was at like a huge Premier Challenge. The Premier Challenge had more people than the actual regional from Utah Regionals in 2015. We had, I think, like 150 people. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was like the second to last round is against Legacy VGC. He shook my hand and everything, and then played for like 10 turns after, and I said I was so mad. And I'm going to explain just a little bit about the situation. He pretty much said, GG, I can't do anything, and he had just a Smeargle, and I had an Aegislash and a Gastrodon, and he scooped. he said, like, I quit. And he shook my hand, and then he transformed into my Gastrodon, which, in doing so, copies the Storm Drain. And so, like, Gastrodon might not be able to fight through the Gastrodon, and, like, my Aegislash was, like, low HP and burned. And then, like, he tried to, like, wall me out and, like, beat me, and it almost, like, really tilted me. And he's like, it's blade info digging, timer stalling for the round. Like, a lot of people kind of agree, like, that was pretty bad. And we actually found, if you scroll, like, down enough, that there's actually a link to that video. Like, I actually uploaded the VOD where it happened. I forgot I saved the replays for that. But they're in this video right here, like Utah Premier Challenge Top 8 Team Review. But yeah, the matching question's like 30 minutes in, but like that was so rude. Like, that's the complete opposite of what we're talking about here. But like, he said GG, he quit, shook my hand, and kept playing. Like, I do not like, we briefly talk about it where people like say, let me see. Let me see it if I can find it. Yeah, it's right here. That's like saying, you played great, but I'm going to make you work for the win. That's that. Let me try and find the thing. I'm looking at the wrong spot. Sorry. It's like saying, you played great, but I'm going to make you work for the win. You guys can see that right there. Yeah. And it was different than that. Because, like, I've had that happen before. People, like, you know, when you have, like, that 5 HP Incineroar and they have something to KO at you, you're like, GG, and you just click a button, you know, and they one-shot you. But, like, this was totally different. Like, it's like, you got me, I have nothing, I scoop, we handshook, and then he did that. It was so much worse. And if you actually go back and watch the video that we were talking about, like, linking, like, this video right here, this video is, like, 4 or 5 years old now, and I say it, like, exactly like I said it in this chat. Like, everything went down exactly like I just said. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Maybe, like, just the slightest amount because it's a long time ago, but, like, he straight up scooped and shook my hand and kept playing, and I was like, wow, that's like one of the worst sportsmanships I've ever seen. But yeah, I don't fault him for trying to win either, you know? Like, people can do whatever they want to try and win, you know? But still, it was scummy. It was definitely scummy. But other than that, I mean, that's all I pretty much wanted to say. I wanted to say, don't say GG unless, like, the game's over and you lost. If there's something you want to message your opponent and you really want to talk to them after the game and you feel that, like, you want that connection with your opponent, there's other ways to say it than that. If you want to, so in this scenario, let's talk about it like this. Like, let's go all the way back up to the top. Let's go all the way back to the top. Because, like, both players handled this. I actually feel that TTT actually handled himself pretty well. But, like, Chris is not antagonizing him on purpose. Because, like I said, it's all out of negligence. He doesn't know he doesn't really know that he's pissing him off. And so it's completely fair that TTT, like, snaps back with this type of response. It's one thing to want to talk about the game. You could be like, hey, I really liked that set that you used on that Pokemon. You know, you could ask them to talk about it. You'd be like, I thought you were going to do this. It didn't go that way. Like, you know, you'll get me next time. It's completely different to do something like that. Be like, I really thought what you did was really cool here. Sorry it didn't work, my guy. You know, it's completely different. It's completely different to come at it with, like, that type of look instead of saying, like, why are you so salty? You know what I mean? It's another thing to, like, congratulate your opponent and say, you played great. Sorry for the bad matchup. You see, that's a different way to handle it. If you really want to talk about him, it's a different way of handling it. Because that makes it, what this makes it look like is that this is coming at you from a winner-loser situation. Like, I have the high ground. I'm better than you. Like, why are you so salty you lost, bro? But coming at it from, like, you know, understanding the situation and looking at it from their side, what would you want to hear if you lost to someone? Would you be like, bro, I loved your team. Your team was so cool. Sorry, like, I crit you. You know what I mean? Or, you know, your team was so cool. I loved that turn 1 play you made. Like, I can't believe I actually went out your tailwind. What a good play. Like, there's so many other ways that you could come out of this by trying to, like, build a connection with your opponent instead of just, like, demanding a GG from them or letting them know that you know that. Letting them know that you know that you won. Like, what is that? And a lot of people do that. A lot of people like GG easy, and I just think it's like the rudest thing to do. So I don't know, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If not, you know, let me know in the comments. You guys can leave likes, dislikes. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about GGs? Is there a right time to say GG? Do you guys say GG? Do you guys say like GLHF or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you guys liked the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.